Hello again, friends. It's me, Miss Christina, and here we are to continue Mercy Watson Fights Crime. We are on Chapter 10, and we've now met the Lincoln sisters who live next door. And they might come into our story in the next few chapters. Mrs. Watson and Mr. Watson don't know what's going on, and Leroy Ninker and Mercy Watson are on some kind of adventure. Here we go, Chapter 10. Yippee-yi-yo! Baby, shouted Eugenia, come back here immediately. Baby got out of bed. She went into Eugenia's room. Yes, sister, said Baby. Did you hear that noise? Said Eugenia. Was it a yippee-yi-yo sort of noise, sister? Yes, it was, said Eugenia. You are dreaming, said Baby. Nonsense, said Eugenia. Open the curtain. Baby opened the curtain. Together, the Lincoln sisters watched Mercy gallop across the lawn. She watched the little man on her back take his cowboy hat off and wave it over his head. Yippee-yi-yo! The little man shouted. That pig is disturbing the peace, said Eugenia. And so is the cowboy riding her. I'm calling the police. Oh, sister, said Baby, are you sure it's not a dream? It's a nightmare, said Eugenia. That is what it is. Chapter 11. Next door, Mrs. Watson discovered that Mercy was not in her bed. Mr. Watson, she shouted, come here at once. Mr. Watson came in at once. Mercy is not here, said Mrs. Watson. Are you certain? Asked Mr. Watson. Have you looked under the bed? Mrs. Watson bent over. She looked under the bed. She is not there, said Mrs. Watson. Mr. and Mrs. Watson stood together in Mercy's room. What should we do? Asked Mrs. Watson. Yippee-yi-yo! It's that noise again, said Mrs. Watson. Mr. Watson went to the window. He opened the curtain. He looked outside. Mrs. Watson, said Mr. Watson, we must call the fire department immediately. It's an emergency. One more chapter this time, friends. Let's see what happens. Chapter 12. In reality, Leroy Ninker was a small thief on the back of a pig. But in Leroy's mind, he was a cowboy riding a bucking bronco in the Wild West. See what he's imagining there? He's imagining he's on a big horse, but really, we know he's just pretending. He's on a pig, a pet pig. Being a cowboy is hard work, said Leroy Ninker. I need some refreshment. Leroy reached into his shirt pocket. He grabbed hold of a butter barrel candy. He unwrapped it with one hand. He put it in his mouth. Ah, said Leroy Ninker, this is the life. But just then the pig kicked up her heels. The pig bucked. The pig reared. Leroy Ninker lost his grip. Yippee, said Leroy. He flew through the air. Said Leroy. He landed on his back. Oh! He said yippee-yi-yo again. And that's it for this time, friends. Next time we'll finish our story. We'll go chapter 13 all the way until the end. Thanks for joining me again for Mercy Watson Fights Crime, and I'll see you next time. Bye.